Shared story number 43, Wu Zhen, a Cinderella story. Green words: wives, ugly, froze, always, lovely, lazy, zigzag, grateful, fuzz, amazed, scales, danced, hold, haze, unzipped, became, bride, magically, appeared, size, told, fancy. Red words: only, water, any, married, friend. Once upon a time, a rich man lived in the south of China. He had two wives. Each wife had a little girl. Their names were Wu Zhen and Wu Ling. One day, the rich man died. Wu Zhen's mom was so sad. She soon died too. So Wu Ling's mom raised the little girls. Wu Zhen was lovely, sweet, and bright. She had a face like the moon and soft skin like the fuzz on a peach. She had very tiny feet. But her stepmother hated her. She was mad that Wu Ling was not like Wu Zhen. Wu Ling was ugly, mean, and lazy. The stepmother made Wu Zhen clean all day. She let Wu Ling spend lazy days in the shade of a tree. Wu Zhen had rags for clothes. In the winter, she froze. Wu Ling sat by the fire in her fine, thick robes. Wu Zhen's only friend was her pet fish, Zigzag. Zigzag swam quickly in his fish pond, this way and that, but he always stopped to listen to Wu Zhen's problems. Wu Zhen shared her meals with the fish. She kept his pond clean. Zigzag was grateful for Wu Zhen's care. The time came for the king's big New Year feast at the palace. Wu Zhen wanted to go, but her mean stepmother made her stay home. Wu Ling and her mother dressed in their best silk robes. Then they went to the New Year's feast. Wu Zhen sat by the pond and cried. She said, "I wish I can go to the New Year's feast too." As her tears fell into the water, Zigzag spoke. Wu Zhen was amazed. Zigzag said, "You may go to the king's New Year feast. I will be your robe, slippers, and fan. You can hide your face with the fan." Suddenly, in a haze of white fog, Zigzag disappeared. In his place were a lovely silk robe, a fan, and tiny slippers. They were bright and shining. They looked like the scales of a fish. Wu Zhen was so happy. She dressed and went to the New Year's feast. At the New Year's feast, everyone looked at Wu Zhen. "Who is that lovely girl?" they all asked. "Why does she hide her face?" The king saw Wu Zhen and asked her to dance. As they danced, Wu Zhen forgot to hold up her fan. Wu Ling saw her and yelled, "That is Wu Zhen!" Wu Zhen was so scared that she ran back home. Wu Zhen sadly unzipped the robe and dropped it into the pond. It became Zigzag's body again. Then she dropped in the fan and he waved his tail. When she put in one slipper, a fin appeared. But the other slipper was missing. Wu Zhen had dropped it running home. She felt very bad that Zigzag had only one fin. So did Zigzag. Meanwhile, the king had picked up the last slipper. He wished to find the lovely girl whose foot fit the slipper. "I will make her my bride," he said. He sent his men to find her. All the girls in the city tried the tiny slipper. It was not the right size for any of them. One day the king's men came to Wu Zhen's house. The stepmother made Wu Zhen hide. She wanted Wu Ling to be the king's bride. But her big, fat foot would not fit the tiny slipper. The men started to leave. Suddenly, Zigzag leaped out of his pond. He flopped to the place where Wu Zhen was hidden. Everyone stared at the fish. They were amazed. Wu Zhen tried on the slipper. It was just the right size. At last, Zigzag's other fin magically appeared. The king's men took Wu Zhen and Zigzag to the palace. They told the king how Zigzag had helped them find Wu Zhen. Wu Zhen married the king. Now she lived at the king's palace. Zigzag had a big, fancy pond. They were very, very happy. And at the end of the story, there are several questions that you can ask your child at home. Thank you.